Hamilton versus Oshawa, the ultimate showdown. Would you rather live in a city called the Hammer or the Dirty Schwa? Well, in this video, I compare the two cities in terms of vibe, lifestyle, and of course housing, so you can decide which city might make sense for you. My name is Morgan Little. I'm a realtor here in Hamilton, and when I was looking to make a move from Toronto, I looked at Hamilton, Barrie, and Oshawa. Barrie I quickly crossed out just based on proximity and housing prices. The other two options I had were Hamilton and Oshawa, and while they are somewhat similar, there are definitely some differences, so I thought I'd make this video to make that decision easier for you. Starting with the overall vibe and lifestyle. Hamilton is a city of contrasts. It's artsy, gritty, outdoorsy, and historic all at once. It's a blend of working class and a hip growing urban center with a ton of pride. Hamiltonians love living here. Nature is everywhere. Waterfalls, trails, the escarpment. It's great for hikers, cyclists, and weekend adventurers. There's really nowhere else where I've seen where you can go such a short distance and feel like you're in another part of the country. And then when it comes to Oshawa, it's more suburban meets industrial. While it was once very reliant on auto manufacturing with the GM plant, it's now had to diversify. It definitely feels more like a commuter town than Hamilton. It's quieter and definitely more suburban, and it feels like it's still trying to find its identity post-GM era. Though there are new developments and local energy starting to pick up. For vibe winner here, I gotta give it to Hamilton for its diversity, character, and a mix of urban and nature. For context, Hamilton and Oshawa lie on either side of Toronto, Oshawa to the east and Hamilton to the west. They're both approximately the same distance from Toronto, with slight variations depending on how you're traveling, whether that's driving or transit. While the cost of living is likely going to be somewhat similar, let's take a look at the cost of housing. In Hamilton, you have an average price of about $765,000, and I always preface this with that includes all the surrounding areas of Dundas, Ancaster, Stoney Creek. Hamilton is made up of a lot of little areas that amalgamated. Central Hamilton and Hamilton Mountain are the main part of Hamilton, and then like I said, you have these surrounding areas. So that average price is influenced by some of the larger homes in some of these outlying areas. You can get a starter home for like the $500,000 range or even a little bit less, but you're probably going to need to do some work. There's also some condos, and then once you get into that $600,000 to $700,000 range, you start to get in some nice medium family sized houses. So I just like to preface that because people hear this $764,000 average price. That's not necessarily what you have to pay if you're looking for an entry-level home. Hamilton does have a mix of character homes, newer builds, especially in Stoney Creek and the Mountain, like I mentioned, and a growing condo market downtown. It's still more affordable than Toronto, but definitely a little more expensive than some other Ontario cities, being that it's still part of the greater Hamilton-Toronto area. For the average price in Oshawa, you're looking at about $780,000, so very similar, not a big difference there. It has a mix of post-war bungalows similar to Hamilton, newer subdivisions, and plenty of options for first-time buyers. What I will tell you though was when I was looking for a place leaving Toronto, I looked in Oshawa, I looked in Hamilton, I went to see a ton of places, and I'll just say there was a lot more options in Hamilton, a lot more options that I was willing to entertain, and you just get more bang for your buck. Everything that I looked at in Oshawa was a no-go. I did see some nice places in Bowmanville, but for me, I quickly realized that Hamilton was going to be the place. So the affordability winner here, it's pretty much a tie. But like I said, for me, Hamilton was a no-brainer when I actually got out there on the ground and started looking at homes. All right, you decided you're going to make a move. You're just trying to pick the city. Whether or not you are moving from Toronto, you're going to want to know if you can get back and forth to Toronto easily enough. So let's look at the commuting and transit options. Hamilton has the GO Transit service to Toronto, both the West Harbour and the Hamilton GO stations. They take about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. And if you're going to drive, you have highway access to the QEW, the 403, and Red Hill Valley Parkway. The LRT project is in process, which could boost infrastructure and property values in the future, but that is in the future. Whereas with Oshawa, you also have the GO Train hub with express trains commuting to Union Station, which can be a bit faster. You're usually looking at about 50 to 60 minutes. And like I said, it's a more established commuter town for people who travel in and out of Toronto for work. So for daily commuters, I got to give the win here to Oshawa by a slight margin, but I travel every single day to Oakville and back twice to take my daughter to daycare, and it's really not that bad. Going to Toronto can be a little bit more of a hassle, but if you choose your times, it's really not that bad. The fourth thing we're going to look at here is schools and education. Hamilton is home to McMaster University with its world-renowned health sciences division. It has several good elementaries and high schools, schools, especially on the mountain, Westdale, and in Ancaster. It also has Mohawk College, which offers a strong trades and health programs. Meanwhile, in Oshawa, it's home to the Ontario Tech University. It also has Durham College, which is strong in the trades and has a business presence. Public schools are average, but they are improving with population growth. Hands down, the winner here is Hamilton. McMaster is a great university. It's connected with the Juravinski Cancer Center and St. Joseph's Hospital here, so they really have a great system happening. Next is outdoor activities and just things to do in general. If you haven't heard, Hamilton is the waterfall capital of the world. It has the Bruce Trail, it has Dundas Valley, it has miles and miles of hiking along the Niagara Escarpment. And while in the city, it's got Locke Street, James Street North, Gage Park, the Art Gallery of Hamilton, it has amazing restaurants and breweries and vintage shops, and a growing nightlife. I've been thoroughly impressed with the amount of good food and restaurants I've been here, and just kind of the vibe that's happening out in the city. There's a lot of entrepreneurs out there. There's people just out and about, lots of coffee shops. Honestly, I've been really impressed. Meanwhile, in Oshawa, it's definitely a little bit quieter. It's more suburban. You have Lakeview Park on the Lake Ontario. You have some trails along the waterfront. It's more low key, good for peace and quiet, not really known for nightlife or a strong downtown. You do have the Canadian Automotive Museum and the Tribute Community Center for events. So lifestyle, no comparison. Hamilton, hands down. There's a lot going on here. Like I said, I've been thoroughly impressed. So many good restaurants to try. I have a hard time picking which one I'm going to try next. Next, we have growth and investment potential. Hamilton, like I mentioned, has the LRT project, and they are revitalizing the downtown and the waterfront, which needs it. It's been popular with Toronto investors and buyers looking to relocate for more space and affordability, just like I did. You may hear a lot about the downtown in Hamilton, but let me tell you, it's very similar to so many cities across Ontario. Sudbury, where I grew up, the downtown is not very nice. You go to Windsor, it's the same. London, there's always an area of a city, especially in this, state that we're in now, post-pandemic, with affordability rates they are and addictions and mental health problems and all that stuff. That's a whole other topic for another video. But what I mean to say is that, don't go hang out downtown where all that stuff is going on and you're going to be just fine. People tend to have this view of Hamilton that it's just grimy and gritty, and sure, there's a little part of it, but like I said, that happens in any city. That happens in Toronto for sure. And so it really just depends where you choose to spend your time. There's beautiful areas around here, and you don't have to have that as part of your life whatsoever. Over to Oshawa, where it's still a little bit behind in terms of development. It has more land being developed for suburban sprawl, but it's got good long-term potential, but less short-term buzz compared to Hamilton. So again, the winner here is Hamilton. It's got nice established neighborhoods like Hamilton Mountain, which is great. Some of the outlying areas that I talked about, Dundas and Ancaster. But then you have central Hamilton areas like Crown Point or Homeside that are really coming to life. That's where people like me who are moving from Toronto are moving into these areas, fixing up homes. It's really coming along nicely. So I mentioned some areas of Hamilton that you may not want to visit. There's definitely those in Oshawa too. If you've ever been, you'll know. And this again may be contrary to the headlines that you might have seen or on TikTok. There are people who report on all these break-ins and these home invasions and carjackings and stuff like that. There's a lot of that happening in Brampton and Mississauga and Toronto, and of course Hamilton, and I'm sure Oshawa as well. But on your day-to-day, it feels very safe here. Like I said, you can pick the area that you choose to spend time in and live in, and working with a great realtor really comes in handy. They can help you. I can help you. One of us can help you find that right neighborhood for you that's going to make it feel safe for your family, or if you're more of a young professional and want to be closer to the scene and all the things that are happening, then we can make that work too. So final thoughts. Would you choose Hamilton or Oshawa? Let me know in the comments. You're going to want to pick Hamilton if you're looking for a city that balances culture and history and nature. Or maybe Oshawa is for you if you're looking for something that's a little more laid back and quiet with a little bit of an easier commute to go back and forth to Toronto. I've helped clients in both markets, so if I can ever be of any assistance, feel free to book a call using the Calendly link below. Simply shoot me a text. I'm happy to have a chat. Till then, I'll see you on the next one.